Okay, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Yeah, I have two articles that I want to go through here. One on the expose that came out on Wednesday, and the other one that came out, I believe, yesterday from the Salakia for the ads, end time headlines that pretty much tie in with each other. And pretty much as always it's eventually gonna lead into Revelation 13 chapter, because this is where things are heading. All this stuff about digital, you know, as we go through the articles, you'll see how it's leading to pretty much the MOTB. It's gonna lead to Revelation the 13th chapter, that subdermal device that they want to put underneath your skin, right? Matter of fact, let me start off with a precept. And after reading those two articles, it stood out because of this, because we know the prophecies, right? So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we're not ignorant of the things that Esau Edom, because that's who Satan is, right? Matter of fact, let's see, Satan should be the same word here, right? No, it's not. It's different. Oh no, here it is. Satanas, right? Adversary. That's what Satan means. Adversary. Adversary, one who opposes another in a purpose or act. The name given to should be right here. It is the last definition. A Satan-like man. So an adversarial-like man. So Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, which it begins with the elites, are our adversaries, right? First, they're the Heavenly Father's adversaries because they oppose and exalt themselves above all that is called the Heavenly Father. All right, so their first adversaries to the Heavenly Father. Whoever is an adversary to the Heavenly Father is also an adversary to his people. So they're also adversaries to us because they oppose what we do. All right, the Heavenly Father set us up as men of truth, right? Men to bring out the correct breakdowns of the scriptures and to expose them. But here it is, they oppose us by sitting there saying misinformation, disinformation, taking down videos. So they are showing that they are adversarial to us, right? They don't like what we bring out, right? The famine of the word is going to come out, right? That's going to show you that although they feign themselves to be people of truth, men of justice, but really they are men of lies, right? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not going to get it, but I believe it's in one of the Psalms where it says they bless with their mouth, but inwardly they curse, right? Meaning that they speak nice to you, they speak smooth words to you, but inwardly in their mind, they're like, they can't wait to turn on you, right? To do something to destroy you, right? And that is the nature of Esau Edom, right? So also let me get devices as well, right? It says an evil purpose, right? That which thinks, the mind, thoughts, or purposes, right? So when we go through these two articles, you're gonna see exactly what the elites want to do, and this is what John the Revelator saw again on the island of Patmos with Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, a small device that is going to give them the ability to have control over the people. All right. So let's go over this first article right here. All right. May read through all of it, may not read through all of it, because I really want to just pinpoint and highlight and focus on the main parts. So this is James Rickards, right? This is the first article from the expose that came out on Wednesday. It says, James Rickards, when the next financial crisis hits, the elites are planning to freeze the financial system worldwide. It says, during an interview in 2017, James Rickards revealed that there is a network of 189 people who are positioned in the world's financial systems that hold the fate of the global financial systems in their hands. Now, also in this article, he's even going to say it as well, but the Spirit just has me saying it now. Mind you, these are not 189 people who are not government official, right? They would be considered NGOs, non-government officials, right? You might see that word sometimes in certain articles. So these are non-government officials, right? They're not the president. They're not anybody in the cabinet, anything like that. They're not your senators, anything like that, right? But yet these people have the power and the influence to change the course of life, to affect you financially, right? You listen to men like Klaus Schwab, Yuval Noah Harari, who say that the world is going to go in this direction. And these are non-government officials. Klaus Schwab, Yuval Noah Harari, these are not elected men. These are not presidents. These are not anything. These are not men in the cabinet, again. But how is it that they have such power and the ability to say the direction that the world is going to go into? Excuse me. Because these men essentially are the mouthpiece of the elites, right? And these are men that the elites use to drive the world in the way that they want it to go, right? Again, the mouthpiece of the elites, because what they're pretty much saying, the plans of the elites, right? Because you don't see the Rockefellers or any of the illuminated ones, right? The men at the top coming out saying these things, right? Although if you listen to Elder Apostle Gabar, and he usually always brings us out about the story of Aaron Russo. I think he was amongst Nick Rockefeller, and how they basically said that they want everybody with that subdermal device in them, right? So they let certain things out to certain individuals and things like that, but rarely do you ever really hear the elites come out and say something. It's usually those underneath them, right, who would be like lesser luminaries underneath them, that will come out and say what they want institute on the earth. You don't really hear it come from them. Pretty much think of it like with us. We're like the Most High. You don't see the Most High saying this and that, but what he has us, his men, to pretty much, forward his message, right? He told Jeremiah that I will put thy words in thy mouth, and I will use you to uproot kingdoms, right? With thee will I use to root, to pluck out, and to plant and to build. So pretty much the same thing, but just on the left-hand side. So continuing on, it says, they share one vision, one world order, one world taxation, and one world money, and have been working behind the scenes preparing to make that vision a reality, right? And when you go into Revelation 13 and 16, what does it say, right? Let's bring in Revelation 13 and 16 and also Revelation chapter 3 and 10. What does Revelation, matter of fact, let's just get it. I don't want to butcher anything. Revelation chapter 3 verse 10. Or is it 9? No, 10. Revelation chapter 3 verse 10 says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. What is the hour of temptation? The hour of temptation is when they make the mandatory institution of that subdermal device where you have to get it, right? And if you don't get it, you'll be under the penalty of death via the guillotine, right? Revelation, the 20th chapter, speaks about those that did not take the MOTB were going to be beheaded, right? I might say the word a couple of times, but I'm trying to be, because sometimes it just slips. So if you hear me stuttering, that's why, because I'm trying to prevent myself from saying the word. But the MOTB is basically the hour of temptation, right? Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And you see, as we're going to go through in this article, but because we're in the know already, and because the Lord has us diligently watching things and always going into these articles, it's easy for us to pick these articles apart and go through this and just be like, I already know what they're trying to do and things like that, right? Because it's just through the repetition of seeing the same thing come out over and over and over, it's like sometimes I don't even have to go into this whole article, and this is not being proud, but just not even have to go through the article. It's like it's the same thing, the article that I probably went through about a month ago, just said a little differently from a different guy, but it's essentially the same plan, the same thing that they want to do. It's the old dog with its old tricks. It's nothing new that they want to do, right? Pretty much saying the same thing, just in a different way from a different guy, right? But still, we have to edify and bring these things out. So apologies if I jumped the gun a little bit on the article, but again, going back into the hour of temptation, the hour of temptation is where they make the MOTB mandatory that you have to take it, right? And if you don't take it, you'll be under the penalty of death via the guillotine. And it says, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, because this is going to be a global thing. And what shows you that they wanted to make this a global thing is because you keep hearing them talk about world currency, right? Or one world order. And what with the, I'm going to just say this word, with the pandemic, with the thing that came out, right, which is still out, what it was a worldwide problem that needed what a worldwide solution, and they're going to cause a worldwide financial crisis that is going to need a worldwide financial solution. So you see what there's going to be a global event that's going to affect the entire world that's going to need a global solution, and this MOTB, this small device, is what they're going to bring out to be that global solution. But it is not. It's going to lead to death via Revelation, the 14th chapter. You can start at the 9th and 10th verse. Right? Taking that thing will bring upon you the wrath of the Most High, which is going to be the nuclear missiles. Right? So let's go into the article. It says James Jim Rutgers, so I guess they call him James or Jim, is chief global strategist for Meriglim. Hopefully I'm saying that right. An investment company, the editor of Strategic Intelligence, a financial newsletter, and director of the James Rutgers Project. So they're letting you know about this guy. They're going to let you know certain books that he's written as well. Basically giving you the credentials of this guy. So just so you know that this guy isn't just anybody coming out saying this. This guy extensively studies this stuff. Like, this is his field, right? This guy he lives to do this. So this guy knows what he's talking about, right? So if he's saying that there's going to be a financial crisis, you can be sure that, hey, giving you this man's credentials and this guy doing this for a while, and this is something that he said back in 2017, you can trust that this man knows what he's talking about. Remember, these guys, this is their field, this is their expertise, right? These would be men who are experts in their field. So you can best believe that this guy knows what he does because this is his life, right? It says, and director of the James Rutgers Project, an inquiry into the complex dynamics of geopolitics, which geopolitics is basically how the world would be ran. Geo meaning earth, and politics goes into basically the government, right? And global capital. He is the author of The New Case for Gold, April 2016, and two New York Times bestsellers, The Death of Money, that came out in 2014, and Currency Wars, that also came out in 2011. And in 2016, he published another book, The Road to Ruin. So you see all this stuff, all these books that came out, again, showing you what this man is in. This is this man's field. Since ancient times, the financial elite have had dreams of dominance, of total control. Although the plan has remained, I'm sorry, although the plan has changed hands countless of times, its core goal has remained the same. And that's very true, right? Because what do we have? We have, before Daniel, the 7th chapter, we have Nimrod. And Nimrod pretty much wanted to establish a new world order, right? But what that failed. You can best believe that also the all the other kingdoms, empires, they also want to establish a new order, right? The Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, especially the Greeks with the Hellenization, right? And then the Romans. So it's nothing new when he says that it has changed hands countless times, right? Going from different to different empires. They all want to establish a new order, but they all failed. In some way, shape, or form, they want to establish a new order. The earliest one, again, that we read about is Nimrod, but Nimrod failed. The Lord confounded the languages. It says, so I'll read that again. It says, although the plan has changed hands countless times, its core goal has remained unchanged. The current generation of elites is the first with the technology, right, to carry the plan out. And that's is essentially what John the Revelator saw, a device, right, technology, a device that they want to put whether in the right hand, which really it doesn't matter via Revelation 14 chapter, but being specific to what Revelation 13 says, whether via be it the right hand or the forehead, right? You cannot put a white woman, you cannot put sin in your mind or in your right hand, right? You use uh, it's going to be a subdermal device that they're going to want to put in your body. Again, it says the current generation of elites is the first with the technology to carry the plan out. In an interview with the Daily Reckoning in November 2017, Rutgers exposed the elites' plan in full, which the scriptures expose the plan of the elites. In this article, we focus on a short clip taken from this interview. Introducing the section of the interview from which the clip was taken, the Daily Reckoning's John Burke began by quoting from Rutgers' book, The Road to Ruin. It says the next financial crisis will not be merely a bigger version of the 1998 and 2008 crisis. It will be qualitatively, hopefully I'm saying that word right. I believe that's qualitatively different. It will encompass multiple asset classes on a global scale. It will exhibit inflation not seen since the 1970s, insolvency not seen since the 1930s, and exchange shutdowns not seen since 1914. State power will be summoned to contain panic. Capitalism will be discredited once and for all. Right? So they're going to make, again, some global crisis, global financial crisis that will shut everything down, right? So for all the people who are, trying to get into the bag and things like that, which is also very funny that, as we're getting closer and closer to the end, now is the time when Jake wants to think about, generational wealth and things like that. Right when we're at the end, right when they're about to make, the transition from, physical cash to digital money, right, to a digital system is now when our people want to focus on, generational wealth and things like that. Right, but they're about to take away the wealth. Excuse me. So continuing on, it says, not only will the coming crisis destroy more investor wealth than in 2008 and last much longer than the Great Depression, Burke explained, but this crisis will be historic for another reason. A network of elites will use the next crisis for cover and they will launch their attack. The financial system will go dark worldwide. Trillions of dollars will vanish instantly and in many cases permanently. Hundreds of millions of people will be cut off from their own money for months or even years. It will be the biggest confiscation of wealth in history, right? So again, they're going to cause something, right? They're going to cause a crisis to happen in order to bring their solution, because they can't just sit there and bring out the MOTB and say, here, take this. What would be the reason for taking this? What is the reason for this? If everything is fine and we have a system that's cool and that there's nothing wrong, then there's no reason to change, right? What's the saying? If it isn't broke, don't fix it, right? So they have to cause something, right? A crisis to happen. Therefore, when there's a problem, right? Problem, reaction, solution. Order ab chaos, right? Order out of chaos. So, hey, there's a problem, right? They have to make the problem, cause a crisis. There's the panic of the people. So there's the reaction, right? And then now they bring in the solution. Hey, here's a reason for this. We see all this problem, but hey, we had a solution that we were working on because we saw this coming. Although we saw, the crisis coming and we were telling you guys about it, right? But we couldn't do nothing to stop the crisis. But look, we have the solution ready and waiting. We had this solution ready just for this perfect crisis. Although, again, remember, if you listen to them, they always talk about the crisis, the coming downfall and things like that. They can't see how to stop that, but yet they know how to bring a solution for it perfectly, which would be that MOTB or a digital system, right? So that is exactly what is going to happen. They're going to cause a crisis again to happen, and therefore they're going to bring a solution, right, to rectify the problem, right? Their solution. So let's read that again. It says, the financial system will go dark worldwide. Trillions of dollars will vanish instantly and in many cases permanently. Hundreds of millions of people will be cut off from their own money for months or even years. It will be the biggest confiscation of wealth in history. So for all the people that are, focusing on wealth and things like that, the elites have a plan to take away your wealth because really they want to enslave you through wealth, right? That is how they want to enslave the people, because what people are crazy about: money, 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 right? And that is one of the easiest ways to trap people, because what you need money to take care of your family, especially a man, if you have a family and things like that, and just to take care of yourself, you need money in order to take care of yourself, to take care of your family. So what better way to enslave you via money? But it's not going to be physical money. It's going to be a digital system that's going to enslave you, right? Pretty much make them a god over you, to where you go to them for the want of all things, right? To where they have complete control over you, where they can dictate and say what you can and can't do through the financial means, right? And that's how they'll be able to have power over you like a puppet, right? They'll be able to pull your strings. Hey, you can do this. Hey, you can't do that. It says over dinner one night, a senior advisor to BlackRock's CEO told Rickards, "They want to tell us we can't sell." This slipped comment raised Rickards' curiosity. What was she talking about? Who was she talking about? So he made some calls to his contacts in Washington and on Wall Street. Shortly afterwards, he attended a series of meetings in London, Geneva, New York, and South America, and he began joining the dots. A pattern emerged, Rickard said. It revealed a network of more than 189 individuals positioned inside the world's major financial institutions. Some of them hold senior positions inside the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and every central bank in the G20, including our own Federal Reserve. Later in the interview, Rickard said that these 189 people also control much of what happens at the central banks of China, Russia, India, Brazil, Canada, and Europe. So you see, it's not just in America, it's all over the world, right? That these people are positioned. These institutions form a kind of global superstructure, right? Right? You're hearing that word global, right? The whole world, not just one place, but the entire world, right? It forms a kind of snare net encircling all nations, Rickard said. Their leaders aren't democratically elected, right? Like I said earlier, I jumped the gun, right? Because these people, these 189 people, which could be more, are not people that the people have voted for, showing you that what? Your votes don't matter. Because if a man like Yuval Noah Harari, Klaus Schwab, these other individuals just like them can say things and tell you that the world is going in this direction and things like that. The fourth industrial revolution, where the people will change. What does that tell you? Biden isn't coming out telling you that, right? So how is it that Klaus Schwab is pretty much acting like a damn president, telling you the direction the world is going to go? He's not the president. He might as well be the president saying that type of stuff, showing you that these people are really the ones that like the word in the Greek for Revelation 13, poeo, right, which means to form, fashion, construct. So these people under the elites, the lesser illuminates under elites, they're the ones, like their think tanks, are the ones that move the course of the earth in the direction that the elites want to go, right? Biden is also a puppet as well, but he moves the world, or at least America, in the direction it should go as well. Or he plays to the tune of the elites as well. But you have, again, which he's going to have a list here, which I'm not going to read that far into the article, because I want to get into the other article just to tie it all in, to show you how Revelation 13 and 16 also tie into this. But he's going to name some people that we know, like Christine Lagarde. I always say this lady's name backwards. Janet Yellen, or however you say her name, right? He has some of those names that have a list. These are not elected officials, but yet they have influence, right? So it says their leaders aren't democratically elected. They're not accountable to you and me. They're beyond the reach of government and citizens, yet they hold the fate of global financial system in their hands, he added. The global superstructure includes organizations such as the Federal Reserve, the Bilderbergs, central banks, intelligence agencies, and the media. The elites inhabit all those spheres. These elites share one vision, and they're about to make it a reality. That vision is the one world order, the one world taxation, and one world money. All of their actions are geared towards the moving of that agenda, right? And that goes back again. I didn't go into it earlier with what the Revelation 3:10, the hour of temptation shall come upon the whole world to try them that dwell therein, right? And that is going to be the MOTB, which, like it says in the 17th verse, if I'm not mistaken, and no man shall be able to buy or sell, right? That goes into that one world money. You're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you have this subdermal device underneath your skin, right? And that device, right, when you go into the three words that we always go into, which is which I'll go into it anyways. Charagma, which is the cutting, Charax, which is the sharp instrument, and then grapho, which is the information left within on that device. Excuse me. Right? So that device is going to have all your information, your records, things not to be forgotten, as it says on it, right? Which could be your social security, your state ID, whatever number to identify you, and it's going to have your money and things like that. Everything that is geared to your pretty much your identity is going to be on that small device that they want to put within your right hand or in your forehead, right? And that's going to come upon the whole world to try them, because really it's going to try the elect, because we're the ones that are commanded, Lord's willing, we are those men that are commanded not to take that, right? Because 2/3 are going to sit there and say, oh, well, I got to eat, I got to do these things. And those who believe in Jesus Christ and things like that, or believe in whatever other doctrines of the world, they're going to sit there and say, well, my Bible, right? Because you got to understand, Christians have a different belief from us, right? They don't believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. We do. So we believe in the word. We believe that Revelation 13 and 16 is a small device. But people who go to church, they don't know what the MOTB is, right? So they're going to say, well, my belief doesn't say that it's a small device that goes inside your body, right? Because the pastors never told them. They never brought them up in what the correct understanding of that is. So they're going to sit there and say, well, I don't see that it says that, so I'm going to take it and go ahead and I got to eat and feed my family. I don't see what you're seeing, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. But we see what the scriptures speak about. So therefore, Lord's willing, the Lord gives us the Spirit, right? We're not going to take that, right? As it says again in Revelation 3:10, and thou hast kept the word of my patience, right? Which is what? Enduring unto the end, right? The Lord said he will keep thee in the hour of temptation, meaning that what he's going to provide for us, feed us, take care of us, shelter us in those times, right? Protect us via angels, via animals, whatever means that the Lord uses, as we have the scriptures to give us the many different salvations that the Heavenly Father has given his men. We have Egypt, after leaving Egypt, the manna, the quails, Elijah, the prophet. I believe I said this in another video. He fed them with bread and flesh in the morning via ravens, right? So there's many different ways that the Heavenly Father can deliver us out of problems. You have Peter, he was delivered into prison, and the Lord sent the angel to take him out of there, right? So this gives us the confidence to go into Jacob's trouble, knowing that our God is able to do all things, right? But for our people who believe in Jesus Christ, ain't no Jesus Christ coming knocking on your door to save you. Ain't no Jesus Christ going to bail you out or feed your family. Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua is the one that says that he is able to deliver, right? Ain't no Jesus Christ, ain't no Jehovah, ain't no Yahweh, none of that has any power to do anything. Only Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. And that has to be believed upon in faith. Okay, so I'll read a little bit more of this. So Salaki again for this being more of a read, but this is a very important thing to go through, and there's a little bit more to read in the next article as well. But again, the scriptures will come out. It says they work for years behind the scenes preparing to realize that vision. They've literally rigged the laws of international finance. Everything is basically in place right now, and there's essentially no way to stop this from happening. When the crisis hits, they'll flip the switch, freezing the global financial system. That will give them the time to reset the world economy according to their vision. So what? They're going to go from how things are now, right, to a pretty much a physical cash, although a lot of people use cards, but still you're able to take money out of your card, right? It's not like it's mandatory to only use a credit card, right? You're able to pick and choose, right? Although a lot of places, some places, well, actually, there's a place where I work at, one of the buildings where I work at, where they don't take credit cards at all. And when they did that, I kind of looked at them funny, like, what? Like, you guys don't take credit cards? They don't take credit cards at all. They only take cash. A pizza spot, right? Make some good ass pizzas. The pizza's like crack. Apologies, but it's, for some reason their pizza's hella good for whatever reason. And one time I went up in there, I gave him the credit. I was like, no, we don't take cards. I'm like, the fuck? Like, how you guys don't take cards? Like, nah, there's an ATM right there. You could do that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right. But most places take card, right? Or some places only take a card ever since the pandemic. So continuing on, it says, this is where I'll stop here, or about. It says, this is the ICE 9 plan. The ICE 9 is a phrase borrowed from a book titled Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut, of Vonnegut. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Rickard uses this term as a metaphor to explain what's going to happen in the financial system and the next financial crisis. In short, the ICE 9 plan is to freeze the financial system worldwide and then replace it with a new system, one which is not based on the US dollar. And what is that going to be? Now, we'll see in the coming days what's that going to be. But that goes into pretty much, yeah, I'll jump into the next article. That jumps into this right here, this article, right? They're going to replace it with something else. This article, I believe, came off yesterday. The IMF says, off End Time Headlines, it says the IMF says central bank digital currencies can replace cash. This is not the time to turn back, right? And when you read through it, I'll read through a couple of I'm not going to read through the whole thing. It says central bank digital currencies have the potential to replace cash. So what? A digital system, right? And just like he said in the previous article, they're going to replace the current system that they have right now. They're going to crash it, cause a crisis, and bring in what? A new system. And what is that system? A digital currency. Now, again, we'll see how this all plays out. We don't know if it's gonna be called CBDCs in the future. You never know. They may change it up. Something may change, and they may have a different name. But whatever the thing is, you're going to see what you're seeing. The current system right now, which you're able to buy and sell with physical cash. But in the future, they want to what? Cause a crisis, cause a financial crisis worldwide that's going to cut that off, right? And then bring in a new system, which will be digitally. And that is how they're going to be able to institute the MOTB to where you're not going to be able to buy or sell without it, right? Right? And again, it goes into what? A physical device, a small device. So no more paper money, right? No more coins, but it's going to go to what? A small device that's going to be inside your skin. And that is going to be the future of payments. That's going to be the future of buying and selling, right? So these two articles link up with each other, showing you that what? This guy who's a field in his expertise with finances is saying that what? They're going to shut down the current system and replace it with one that is not based upon the US dollar. So if it's not based upon the US dollar, what is it going to be based upon? Well, again, this was that first article I showed you off the expose. That was something that was back in 2017. This is an article off of End Time Headlines. That is a recent one that came out yesterday, right? At the time that I'm doing the video, it's Wednesday right now. This is, I believe, came out Tuesday. This is a current one that shows you what? That they're moving forward with a digital plan. So it shows you what? They're going to go from the current state of the way things are right now to a new state of things, which is going to be digital, right? So reading the article again, says central bank digital currencies have the potential to replace cash, but adoption could take time, said Kristina Georgieva, or Christiniala, or Christine, whatever your name is, Christine Georgieva. We're calling you that. Y'all people with y'all names. Managing director of the International Monetary Fund on Wednesday, right? And hey, he mentioned the International Monetary Fund in the first article. CBDCs can replace cash, which is costly to distribute. Again, central bank digital currencies, right? Digital currencies, right? Can replace cash. See? So digital currencies replace what? Physical cash, which is costly to distribute in island island economies. She said Wednesday at the Singapore FinTech Festival. They can offer resilience in more advanced economies, and they can improve financial inclusion where few banks hold where few hold bank accounts. So you're already going into this is a better system and things like that. But again, they can't just roll it out like that. They need a reason to. Therefore, they need to cause a crisis in order to bring it about. It says CBDCs are the digital form of a country's fiat currency, which are regulated by the country's central bank. They are powered by blockchain technology, allowing central banks to channel government payments directly to households. CBDCs would offer a safe and low-cost alternative to cash. They would also offer a bridge to go between private monies and a yardstick to measure their value, just like cash today, which we can withdraw from our banks, the IMF chief said. It says the IMF has said that more than 100 countries are exploring CBDCs, or approximately 60% of the countries in the world. The level of global interest in the CBDCs is unprecedented. Several central banks have already launched pilots or even issued a CBDC, the IMF said in a September report. I'll read this part right here. It says, but as of June, only 11 countries have adopted CBDCs, with an additional 53 in advanced planning stages and 46 researching the topic, according to data from the Atlantic Council. So you see that they're moving with this digital currency, but again, there needs to be a catalyst, something that forces that. All right. So been holding this for a while. Let's get into Revelation 13 and 16, as we always bring out all the time. Right, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, just to end it off. It says, and he calls it all, right? Now, who's the he, as we always go into, right? The he is not just one man, it's the global elites, right? They're the ones that want to, as it says, cause it, as I went into earlier, which is poeo, which is what? To form, fashion, construct, right? So the global elites want to form, fashion the world, right? In a direction that they want it to go, right? So it says again, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, right? Which is essentially everybody, right? Whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're low class, which really they're getting rid of the middle class, but whether you're rich or poor, right? Whether you're locked up in jail or not, right? Whether you're a regular citizen, right? They want everybody essentially to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, when you go into that word mark, as I explained it earlier, the Greek word there for mark starts off with charagma, which charagma is basically an etching, pretty much a cutting in the flesh. But in order to cut into the flesh, you need something to cut, right? So then the root word of charagma would be charax, right? And it says pale stake palisade, which is pretty much a sharp instrument, right? So in order to cut into something, think of like if you want to carve into a tree, you're gonna, or like sculptors, right? They need a chisel in order to pick at the sculptor, right? So it's the same thing. You need a sharp object to chisel away at the rock. So how are they going to get something into people's brains, into their foreheads, or into their hands? Well, it will be the syringe, right? And then when you go into the root word of charax, that would be grapho. And like I said earlier, it says to commit, the B definition, it says to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down, or record. So what it's going to be your records, your information. Take all your identifications and put it together. Your social security, your state ID, driver's license, right? Your credit card information, all those things that pretty much make you who you are in society, that allow you to function in society, right? Is going to be all combined together into that small device that's pretty much going to be tailor-made, or maybe not say tailor-made, that's not the correct thing, Salakia. But it's going to be put on that device that is going to be how they identify you in the new system, right? In the new world, that's how they're going to be able to identify you and know you and be like, okay, we're able to know who you are, because again, they want to get rid of paper money, right? because having a digital system is able to track you, right? If you listen to Yuval Noah Harari, he says that all the time. Whoever controls the cloud is basically going to have all the power, right? So basically, if you're in the cloud in the system, they're able to track and trace you and see who you are and who is spending money. And this is why they bring out things like climate change, carbon emission, and things like this, saying that, hey, because this all goes back to, if you know about the limits of growth that came out from that the Club of Rome came out with. I believe that's also based upon the Malthusian theory, if I'm not mistaken, as well, right? And it all talks about how in the future there's going to be too much resources, or there's going to be too much people on Earth and not enough resources, so we have to limit how much people eat, right? That's why they have certain articles brothers shared in the chat and things like that, if you pay attention, about how the government pretty much has to bring a shortage on food, right? They got to control how much people are intaking and things like that, right? But they know that the people aren't going to do it willingly, so they have to create a system in order to control how much the people eat, to watch over the people, to govern the people this way, to control how much rations they get. This is how much food you're going to be allotted to this week, right? Or this month. And you get no more and no less than this, right? And that's pretty much how they're going to be able to control you, right? That is the means of how you're going to be able to buy and sell in the future via this subdermal device that's going to go inside that they want to put within your body via the right hand or in the forehead. But going into Revelation 14 chapter, it says whoever received it, right? So if you just receive it, it doesn't matter, right? But the primary place that they want to put it is in the right hand or in the forehead for their specific reasons that they want to put it there. But if you get in the left hand, or sometimes brothers joke and say if you get in the butt cheek, it doesn't matter, because so long as you take it, right? And again, going to the beginning part of Revelation 16, talks about, and he calls it all. So again, through this article, the two articles that I've shown you, you just see that what? They're going to cause a global financial crisis, right? That is the poeo, because they want the people to take it, but what they need to force the people in a direction that they want the people to go. Matter of fact, let me do that justice and actually go into poeo, right? So you see cause it, and it's poeo, says to make ready, to prepare, right? So they have a plan, right? Think of it like a meal. I have a 5-course meal that I want you to eat, but I have to prepare things. So I have to get this, I have to get that, I have to get the seasoning, I have to get this food, I have to get all these ingredients before I make my food. So it's the same thing. If I want you people to take this device, I have to get you ready to this. I have to get you right. So in order to do that, I have to do things like what Elder Design One always mentions this. The Elder Design One of my camp, he always mentioned this, right? You have the MOTB technology, the MOTB mentality, and then the MOTB reality, which they come out with the technology. Then the technology, which goes into the mentality, which works on the minds of the people. The people get accustomed to the technology, right? It becomes they get accustomed. I'm sorry. They bring out the technology. Then it's working on the mentality of the people, because what the technology comes out and the people, it works on the minds of the people where the people get used to it, and then eventually it becomes a reality right before the people. So you see that with like the Amazon stuff, if I'm not mistaken, the Whole Foods, where you have the stuff where you just you pay with your palm, right? But there's one also here that right. It also says to make one to do something, which is pretty much nudging someone in the direction, right? Because think about it, if you want to lie to someone or deceive someone, you say certain things or you do certain things to what? Nudge them in the direction that you want them to go, right? So when it says to make one to do something, right? What's that something that they want you to do, right? It's in their mind. They want you to take this, but they have to make you do it, right? So they have to do things, put certain things in place to make you to do something, which is to take that MOTB. So they have to set up a world in which it forces you to take it, where you have no other choice. But we have a choice. We have an alternative, which is Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Right? So now that we understand the 16th verse, let's continue to 17. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you cannot buy or sell. You won't be able to function in society without this thing, right? And when you go into the word buy, if I'm not mistaken, Oops, press the wrong thing. Slakia. The word buy in the Greek is agorazo, or when you go into the root word of it, it says what? The agora, right? Yep, the agora. It says for buying and selling. So you won't be able to buy or sell without this. Matter of fact, let me see what this will say. Hold on. Right, NLT says, and no one could buy or sell anything without that mark. You can't do nothing, right? Without it, you won't be able to function. So without this small device in your body, you won't be able to function in society. And that's what they want to do. And that will bring about the hour of temptation, right? Right. So that's pretty much it. I'll even read this right here to end it. It says on Wednesday, the fund launched a CBDC handbook as a reference guide for policymakers around the world. Georgieva said many countries are investigating CBDCs, right, which central bank digital currencies. Want to emphasize that digital currencies and developing regulations to guide digital money development. So you see the push for what? Digital currencies, right? To go away from the current system that we have now into a new system, right? A digital system. But in order to do that, you need the means to force the people to do so. So they're going to create a crisis that forces the people to move from the current system that we have now to the digital system. And we'll see how that all plays out in the future as we go along. But pray that this video is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory as always to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.